Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. This is the WOW Podcast, WOWW, Wendy's on Wellness Wednesday. This is episode 17.
Wow.
So exciting. This particular one is recorded because as we speak, I am flying from a couple of days of a business meeting in Florida to see my grandbabies, and we are celebrating in Tennessee our Thanksgiving and Christmas together the rest of this week. So
yay.
Enjoying that. I am Dr. Wendy Sue Massey. I am an alternative medical practitioner. I have my PhD in integrative medicine. I'm a retired emergency room and trauma registered nurse. I am a wife, mom, Gigi, lover of all things natural, non-toxic, lover of Jesus, and an author. If I don't stop
always forget that part. A great author. And hopefully, I know she's going to write many, many, many more books too.
I have lots of plans for books. If I can just get my life to get back to a point where I can just say, all I'm doing is writing, that would be amazing, because I have a lot of things up here I want to write about. And this is my dear, dear, dear bestie, Wendy Flournoy.
Hi, guys. I'm Wendy Flournoy, certified hypnotherapist, herbal enthusiast, wife, mom, Gigi, Jesus lover, gardener, lover of all things non-toxic and natural.
Yes, yes, yes. So today we have a lot of things we want to cover, as always. Why do I say that every week? Because we're never going to.
Yes, it's always like that.
Yes, we are never going to have you tune in and not have a lot of information.
That's
I promise you.
It's even 12 years ago, we could spend days and days and days and days.
Yes. Absolutely. And it's funny because I have my clients that love to tell me, they're like, man, I was listening to you in the car, and then I had to listen to you again because I had to write down all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh,
take notes.
Definitely. If you're at home and have the ability to do it, take notes.
That's right. That's right.
So
I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving.
Yes. I definitely hope so. Hope you tried some new recipes that wowed your family, that were clean and non-toxic. Yes. And I would love to hear all about that. We always forget to share. We have a email.
Yeah.
Tell everybody what the email is.
Wendy's on wellness @gmail.com.
So let us know if you tried any of the new recipes we've recommended. If you've tried anything new that was clean and non-toxic this past
share it with us
week. We'd love to know. I love hearing stuff like that, especially when you wow your family. That's been my favorite thing in the world. And as we speak, we're like I said, doing our Thanksgiving and Christmas this week in Tennessee, and it's been so much fun to me because when I first headed down this natural path 12 years ago, and Wendy, you and I were part of each other's lives then too.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to die when I got to my first holiday season. I was like, if it hadn't been for the fact that Matthew was so sick, I would have totally been like, well, forget it. We're eating all the crap. Thanksgiving to New Year and picking back up at the New Year. You don't have to do that.
No.
I didn't have a choice because Matthew was sick.
Yeah.
Not thank God that he was sick, but thank God it put me in a mode of, you know what? We got to make this work.
Yeah, right. We don't have a choice. And it did take us 12 years to perfect the cornbread crack.
It did. It took us 12 years, but we got it. That was the last thing though, wasn't it? I mean, everything else that we've set out to perfect of all of our old family favorites are amazing. And most of them are better than they were before.
Yes, I agree.
But I mean, now and my first holiday season, I remember I made 2 of everything. I made the clean version and the gluten-free version, and then the old family version. Yeah. And one, I worked myself to death. Never going to do that again. And as much as I was doing it to help Matthew not feel isolated, and I joined with him on eating all of the stuff that was, natural and gluten-free, it still isolated him. So because he knew he could only eat things on this part of the table.
Right.
So I made it my mission after that every time my kids came, whether it be the holidays or just a random supper, that when mom was cooking, there is never going to be the question, Mom, can I eat this?
Right.
Yes, 100%. Everything on this table is something you can eat.
Right.
And I love that. And it's totally been a game changer for us. So Matthew loves that because he has to worry about that everywhere he goes.
Well, sure. At least he knows with you, he doesn't have to worry about it. He can just eat whatever is there.
Absolutely. And it's funny because he'll still ask sometimes because he's like, Mom, you mean I can eat this? I'm like, oh, yes, baby. I got you, you know.
That's right.
So anyway, look forward to hearing any new changes you all made for Thanksgiving. And we'll talk about that a lot throughout the Christmas season because this is the time of year for food. And we will have so many.
And you don't have to miss out. We just learned to change what we're using to make the stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we don't suffer. That is
no, absolutely not.
So I know one of the things we're going to talk about today is, let me say it, Soleil water. We talked about this.
I kind of like soul water.
I like it too. But it's funny, we talked about just that this was a good thing to add to your morning routine 2 weeks ago. And we said we were going to come back and talk more about it. So I didn't realize when Wendy said Soleil, and I'm like, well, I've always called it Soul. So it's spelled SOLE. And so anyway, I went back and listened to multiple practitioners that recommend it, and they all said Soleil. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm wrong.
It's all good. I like soul water. I mean, I think the first 2 years I was messing around with plants and flowers, I called calendula. So, I mean, you know.
I'm sure.
Tomato, Soleil, soul.
Right. Our southernness has us naturally pronouncing things differently than a lot of the rest of the world. So I'm all right with that.
Yep. Whatever you call it, we were talking about the same thing.
Yes, we were. So Wendy, you want to tell us all the benefits? Well, first of all, what is Soleil water?
Soleil water. All right. It's basically a heavily, all right. Now Wendy's is done with Himalayan salt,
which is why it's more.
Mine is done with Celtic salt.
Yep.
Okay. That's the only difference. It's just a heavily infused filtered water with unrefined salt.
Yep.
So a salt that still has all of the minerals in it. So you could use Himalayan, you could use Celtic, you could use Redmond's real salt. I think there's a Baja Gold that Barbara O'Neill recommends.
Mm-hmm.
Any of those salts will work as long as they're unrefined.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll give you a recipe after I give you all of the benefits of the Soleil water. So when you're making this, you make it and then you just kind of let it sit and let the salt dissolve in it. But you only use a teaspoon of it and you add that teaspoon to 8 ounces of water.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not drinking salt water.
Right.
Okay. So you get better hydration. And you want to drink this in the morning before anything else.
Yeah.
It kind of gets in your system, especially after that fasting time of sleeping. So hydration improves physical performance. Energy levels, takes care of headaches. It is good for digestion because the unrefined salt can help the liver and intestinal tract. Mm-hmm. Muscle cramps, of course, we all know that salt has been great for muscle cramps.
Yep.
It can help calm the nervous system. Therefore, it could help you sleep better. Mm-hmm. Bone health, the minerals in the unrefined salt can help prevent osteoporosis and promote bone and teeth health. And the electrolytes, high electrolytes can help detoxification.
Yeah.
All right. So what happens is the negative ions in the water, and you want to use a filtered water, mm-hmm. combine with the positive ions in the salt, making the minerals easier to absorb in the body. So that's what the goal is, to make the body absorb the minerals easier. Okay, and it's simple recipe. You take, if you're using Himalayan salt and it's the bigger like rock crystals, you want about 8 of those and just throw them in a jar, or 3 tablespoons of the other salt. If it's finer ground or whatever, just use 3 tablespoons, and versus 5 ounces of filtered water. Let that dissolve. You want to use a plastic top. If you use a metal top, you want some kind of barrier in between. Okay, so if you have a canning jar like Wendy has and you have the metal, you want to put a piece of parchment paper in between the jar and the metal. Okay,
These
so it won't
plastic
corrode.
lids, yeah, these plastic lids on Amazon were super cheap.
They
because
are.
I was shocked. I didn't own any until I started doing the Soleil, and I looked, and it was like, oh my gosh, I think I paid $3 and got 5 of them or something
Yeah,
like that.
I
It
have
was
some white
nothing.
ones and they're
Yeah,
great. They're
yeah,
worth the investment for sure.
yeah.
So you just want to add that 5 ounces of filtered water to the 8 rock crystals, or 3 tablespoons, one or the other. Let it sit for 24 hours, and you'll see. I mean, if this sits for a long time, it clears up. But then when you shake it up, it'll settle to the bottom. And all you want to do is take a teaspoon of that and add it to 8 ounces of water.
Yep. One other thing, I've started in my new direction with my clients. One of the things that I'm doing is I'm doing an inflammation assessment on everybody. And those who are showing signs of inflammation in their hormone and endocrine balance, I recommend the Soleil water for them.
Yes.
Because it does such a great job of helping to balance hormones. It's known for that as well. And I do want to point out, because Wendy and I are so anti-plastic, there are certain things that, I bend on this on. It's not heated. I would never, ever, ever use these to heat anything. But B, it's not the what do they call that? The microplastics are worse in the single-use plastics.
Yeah.
Versus these. But again, you're doing this cold. I keep mine in the fridge. I know Wendy keeps hers in the
I keep mine in the coffee cabinet.
Yeah. And as long as, what I had learned is that as long as you still get the settling, you've got the right balance. If after using it over and over and over again, you find that you're not getting that settling, add some more and then add some more water.
But I had downsized to this bottle. I started out with a larger bottle, but as it goes down, I like to decrease size to make more room for my tea jars.
Of course.
So y'all can see I'm having a tea this morning.
Ooh, that looks so
This is a hibiscus butterfly pea flower with a little bit of lemon.
Oh,
in an old A2.
I love it. I love it. Reuse those babies.
I keep them all.
Yeah. But yeah, it is important to do those plastic lids because the salt will naturally corrode. And also when you scoop the water out, use plastic or wood. Don't use metal for the same reason. You're going to, it's got that corrosive effect. It will not have the same benefits. So, but yeah, that's a good thing. And again, you don't have to have a hormonal imbalance. Those are just my clients that I always recommend.
I mean, it's good. It's not going to hurt you to do that every day in your first glass of water in the morning.
Yeah. I've started doing it.
It can only help.
Yeah. I've started doing it and I love it. Well, I mean, and if the salt is offensive to you, for whatever reason, do more. When I first started with it, I didn't know how I would like it. So rather than 8 ounces, I put it in one of these, and that, my first water of the day, which I usually guzzle almost a whole one of these first thing in the morning anyway, while I'm brewing my coffee or whatever. And so
what is that? That's 16 ounces?
24, I think. Yeah. But you don't even have to fill that up. But I mean, even if you just wanted to do half of that and, and put your Soleil water in it, it just get it down and it's wonderful. It doesn't bother me anymore. I could easily do it in 8 ounces and it wouldn't bother me. So, but
it's kind of like the apple cider vinegar. When you first start doing apple cider vinegar, it's like, woo, just because you're not used to it, or even cayenne pepper.
Yeah.
Because I do every morning when I do in the kitchen doing all this in the mornings, I also do a tablespoon of the honey, turmeric, ginger, and pepper and cayenne.
Yeah.
I do a tablespoon of that every single morning because that's where it is in my cabinet.
Yeah.
So it's like, now that I've been doing the cayenne for a little while, I can tolerate the cayenne more than I used to.
And you're not doing it raw under your tongue.
No.
Which I learned the hard way. We don't do that. We do not do that.
Never raw under your tongue. No. Never do the tincture under your tongue either. Not when it comes to cayenne.
No. Terrible idea. Terrible idea. So I know that we also wanted to talk. Did you have anything else you wanted to share on the Soleil?
I think that's it for the Soleil. So email us at wendysonwellness@gmail.com. If y'all decide to try it, let us know how it goes and how you like it.
Yeah. The other things I know we wanted to talk about today, along the same lines of the morning routine that we covered a couple of weeks ago, is coffee and green tea. The benefits of both are tremendous.
Yes.
The biggest
We're not talking a pot of coffee like we said last time.
Now, you'll see a lot of studies that say that, 5 cups a day of coffee are good and all this stuff. But if you look, most of what they are talking about is the caffeine, which you will get from the green tea.
Yes.
So it's more the specific coffee benefits that I want to talk about, and not necessarily the caffeine benefits, because you can get those in multiple places. But if you are already a coffee drinker, please do not feel like you have to fully get off of that and onto herbal teas for good health. That's absolutely false information. No. I've heard people say that forever. And quite honestly, when I decided to dive into this a lot deeper, I think I shared maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I was trying to get off of coffee because, that is my love, but I was also drinking, half a pot to a pot every day.
Yeah. And that's how I was before I went coffee free during Rick's thing. And we went 6 months with no coffee.
And you know what? I didn't feel good. I felt like I was missing something. And it wasn't just that I was missing my morning coffee. Yeah. It was, I felt like I was not getting something nutritionally that I typically was. Now, mind you, coffee the way we're talking, and coffee what you get at Dunkin' Donuts that's like a pumpkin spice whatever thing, 2 totally different things.
I'm saying once you go organic with coffee, you become a true coffee snob.
Yeah. You will never want anything else.
Yeah.
The only time I ever get anything from Starbucks now is if I have a gift card, because people love to give those as gift cards, and if I'm traveling, I'll pull it out of my purse and be like, oh, I got a gift card for Starbucks.
And they have a couple of good options at least now.
Yeah.
The matcha drinks and stuff.
Yeah, they do. They do. But definitely you want organic always. I have said for years that when you are looking at the Dirty Dozen list that the EWG puts out on what you should get organic, they are talking produce. I tell everybody to add coffee and tea to that list. They are the most heavily sprayed crops in the entire world.
They are. And if you don't know, the EWG is the Environmental Working Group. Yeah. They put out recommendations on the cleanest products, the cleanest food, shampoos, conditioners, household cleaners, you name it. Yeah. They have a list.
They are. We've said before, we're not lobbying girls because we can't.
But they are amazing
organizations, but they are a lobbying organization that is worth following and supporting. They're incredible.
Yeah, because they lobby for keeping things clean and non-toxic.
Yeah, absolutely. So some specific benefits of coffee that I thought was really fascinating. It decreases the risk of type 2 diabetes. And it's not just the, I just thought structurally it was so cool. So our beta cells in our pancreas are what produces the insulin to help regulate our blood sugar. There's actually been studies proving that coffee has the ability to preserve the function of beta cells.
Oh, cool.
So I just thought that was really, really fascinating.
That is fascinating.
It's also very rich in antioxidants, which is good for insulin sensitivity, as well as regulating inflammation and metabolism. And by nature, if it's high in antioxidants, it's also a great cancer preventative.
Absolutely. So you can get all the benefits of this in a decaf?
Yes, but a lot of these, it's the coffee combined with the caffeine that is beneficial.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, let me table that, and I'm going to look a little bit. That's a great conversation for next time or in one of our future podcasts.
We'll follow up with decaf.
Yeah, to see the difference in health benefits between the caffeinated and non-caffeinated. That's a great question. I don't know because I don't understand decaf.
Me either. Me either.
I never have.
That's why we don't know anything about it.
I'm like, what? They still make that? What? No, we will. We'll find out because I know you're exactly right. Yeah, that is a question people are going to have, but that is funny. It also supports brain health. There have been there's been research done to show that it protects against Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and in particular, people that drink more coffee, and it's a combination in that one I know of the caffeine and the coffee beans.
Okay.
That it decreases Alzheimer's in some studies they've shown by like 60%. I mean, it's huge.
That's amazing.
It also promotes weight management. Coffee intake has been shown to be associated with a decrease in fat percentage. Lowers risk of depression, which makes sense. I'm a heck of a lot happier when I have my coffee than when I don't. I thought this was interesting. It protects against liver disease. When we talk about it being high in antioxidants, one of the areas that it's shown to really protect is against liver scarring, liver cancer, hardening of the liver, so liver cirrhosis. So it definitely does a lot to protect or liver fibrosis as well. And then it also supports heart health, increases longevity, and increases athletic performance. Now, those last three things, it seemed to me, the more research I did on it, that was more related to the caffeinated benefits, which is what we're going to talk about with green tea as well. But people tend to be more energetic when they get their dose of caffeine. So,
so would this be like 1 to 2 cups of coffee a day?
I think that's reasonable. I usually set up so I have one of those things, one of those Pampered Chef coffee makers that makes you the 1 cup at a time, but I am a waste not, want not girl. So I will do my first cup, and then I will do another roughly half a cup or so with the same grounds, because I know that there's still something in it.
Still strong enough.
It matters what you put in it. You're not going to have great diabetes management if you're throwing a ton of sugar in it. So, you've got to, if you are somebody who loves super sweet coffee, start to decrease it a little bit at a time. I have worked with so many people to do that and just reduce it. Figure out, first of all, how much you're putting in your coffee. You may be shocked. I've had clients
ever thought I would be a black coffee drinker.
Me either.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I think going organic definitely makes a difference.
It does,
because now my coffee is not bitter.
Right. It tastes wonderful. It tastes wonderful. But
I love black coffee.
I do too. But it's very interesting because if our tastes change. So when you make the adjustments, if you figure out that you're consuming a quarter cup of sugar or something like that in your coffee, first of all, please use natural sources. If you're going to use cane, use organic cane, use blackstrap molasses, use
Coconut sugar, date
coconut
sugar.
sugar. Yeah, coconut, date sugar, organic maple syrup is something that a
Yes.
lot of my clients love to use.
A
Raw
little
honey.
cinnamon.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's so many things you can do.
Yeah. But wherever you are with it, decrease it by half a teaspoon a week. By the time you get to the end of that week, you're going to be like, okay, I don't notice a change. Drop it again until you just can't stand it. But that's what I did. And I'm completely fine with black coffee. As a matter of fact, if I get one of the clean creamers that are out there that are naturally sweetened with either monk fruit or with coconut sugar, it will turn my face inside out.
Because it's very sweet. Because you've gotten used to none.
Yeah.
But I remember when I first started that darn creamer, I felt like I was a creamer junkie.
Oh yeah.
It was sweet cream creamer.
Uh-huh.
And it was just, man, it had a hold on me. That was like one of the last things I gave up. And it was hard.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was addicted to it.
You probably were. It's just like, I mean, you think about it. It's one of the processed food companies that make all those things. You absolutely were, because I guarantee you they're flavor scientists. Not only do our brains get addicted to the sugar, so it's already going to happen.
The chemicals that they add to it make it even worse.
Exactly. They're adding, chemicals that make us addicted. They do that in all of their foods. That's what these flavors are. So yeah, no.
I totally felt like a drug addict.
Yeah.
I really did, because that was the hardest thing. And I did it just like you said. Back off, to where it was hardly noticeable, and I felt like I was still getting my fix.
Yep, exactly. Now I will, just because this is something newer that I've started doing, just because I enjoy it. I feel like it's a piece of my pampering. Is I will froth me some coconut milk.
Nice.
And especially this time of year, I'll put a few drops of peppermint in it and froth it up. And then I put that on top and sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon. Girl, oh my goodness.
That is the holidays, isn't it?
It's the best ever. And yet I didn't add any sugar or anything like that. I'm using natural coconut milk.
That's right.
Natural organic peppermint and natural cinnamon. I mean, it is absolutely fine. Also, if you are really struggling with sweetness, put cinnamon in your coffee.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are shocked to find out how much that cuts that need for the sweetness.
Yes. It definitely does.
Yeah. Whether it be a cinnamon stick or, grind up some Ceylon cinnamon, it will make a big difference.
Yeah.
So
definitely
good stuff. Now, when do you switch over to your tea every day?
When? What did you say? When? Oh, after I have like you, I do the Soleil water first. Okay, then coffee, and then I usually switch right over to tea. And it just depends on if I want some. I mean, everything I drink is medicinal in some form.
Yeah.
But this is just because I like the look of it and the taste of it.
Yeah.
But also highly medicinal.
Yeah.
I've got the hibiscus in there for, heart health, and the butterfly pea flower does so very much.
Yeah.
And then, but 'tis the season. So that orange spice Tulsi basil one that I make for you that you're having, that one, I mean, that one I love to smell while I'm drinking it. So you get your aromatherapy too. And it's, man.
So one thing that I love to do, because I know we're going to be talking about green tea. I got this definitely for the medicinal benefits, the smell, the aromatherapy, and the taste is out of this world. But I'm not a huge just plain old green tea fan.
It does, to me, green tea doesn't really taste like anything. So
So,
it's a great thing to add to
yep,
another tea.
exactly what I do. People ask me all the time, if I have 2 tea bags or have one of these with a tea bag, and they're like, why do you have 2 different ones? That's why, because
Yeah.
I will always add green tea up until supper time. I stop it because it does have some natural caffeine.
Yeah.
But I all day long, this is me two-fisting it. You know, I got my tea and I got my water. And my first water of the day is going to be my detox water. So I take that back. My first water of the day is the Soleil.
Right.
My next water after my
With the
coffee
detox.
is my detox drink. And then, I just do just plain water. But along with that, I got my hot tea and I do the green tea with it
This
because
time of year, I don't think I do a whole lot of plain water.
really,
Yeah, because I do a lot of like citrus water
mm-hmm.
or tea, uncaffeinated tea, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the natural herbs are naturally decaffeinated. But if I'm doing water, it's usually got ginger and lemon and orange all thrown in there.
Yeah.
Just because I want to feel warm. Because,
Yeah. No,
I am preparing myself for cold.
that's perfect. And you know what? A lot of people don't like to drink regular water. So I always recommend those fruit infusers. And you can use them. You don't have to use fruit in them. You can do
That's right.
ginger. You can do,
Yep.
cucumber and mint. You can do all kinds of things. And it's
It's so much better than them bottle of drops.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Please don't ever use those drops. But why do we care about green tea? So I never had any idea it was to this degree how important it is to get green tea in your life. There's been research done after research done by countless physicians, countless medical schools, countless functional health organizations about the benefits specifically of green tea. All these herbal teas have great benefits, but specifically green tea
is like the queen.
it is. It is. And that's why I make such a big deal about putting it in everything. If I make smoothies, I'm putting matcha powder in my green tea or in my smoothie. Like I said, I add my green tea to everything I drink. And if you don't like it, combine it with something that has flavor. I'm always doing hibiscus with my green tea or lemongrass with my green tea.
Because the green tea will take on the flavor of whatever you're adding.
Yeah. Yeah, it just doesn't taste like anything.
It's kind of like zucchini. Zucchini's like that. Zucchini
Yeah.
will take on the flavor of whatever you're putting with it.
Yep.
Green tea is kind of the same way.
Yep. So as far as all of the benefits, all the health benefits of green tea, and we're talking 2 to 4 cups a day, and that's really important. If you can make it part of your life where you do 2 to 4 cups a day between your coffee and supper, you're going to get so much out of this, but definitely very high in antioxidants, higher than what they anticipate any drink you could possibly consume. It can help, which helps prevent cellular damage and just overall health. Cardiovascular health. The studies on cardiovascular health are ridiculous.
Massive.
Like to the point where if you drink 4 cups of green tea a day, you are cutting your cardiovascular risk of disease by like 60%.
That's huge.
Huge.
That's huge. So all I have to do is add green tea to my others.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I probably have a cup a day. I didn't realize it was 2 to 4 cups a day. So I gotta up my intake.
Yeah, add that to it. That's why I make sure I always get my 2, no matter what. But I really push for 4 throughout the day.
Yeah.
Brain health. Green tea can improve cognitive function and also boost your brain health. Weight management. It has shown that it helps with weight loss, in particular belly fat. And that's where we hold on to all of our stress, where we hold on to so many of the inflammatory properties in our body, is if you have belly fat. So it's really good at helping to boost metabolism and fat oxidation, especially around your belly.
Nice.
Blood sugar, we talked about how much it helps. Coffee helps with it. Well, when you go from your coffee to your green tea, you are still getting good blood sugar benefits. It helps to regulate blood sugar levels. Skin health. This is something that means a lot at our age, Wendy.
Yes.
It can help with skin inflammation, acne, redness, eye puffiness, and prevent skin cancer.
It's so funny because I was looking at a recipe the other day, and I was looking at others and creating my own, but it uses green tea powder
Yeah.
for face mask.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I guarantee you it is, again, the antioxidant properties.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
does so much on our cellular level.
It's
And
a powerhouse.
our skin is just our biggest organ of the body. So,
That's right.
it loves anything like that. It also has been shown to boost our immune systems,
Yeah.
help ease stress and anxiety, which I think is interesting. Inflammation, we've talked about related to the antioxidants, but it does say that it helps to reduce inflammation and slow the breakdown of cartilage.
Oh, wow.
If you're having problems with your bones and your joints,
Yeah.
and a lot of times that's cartilage related, so it can really help slow that down, slow the breakdown.
I had never heard that. That's amazing.
Yep. And along the same lines with bone health,
Yeah.
there's been studies showing that it strengthens bones,
Mm.
which, we always hear calcium, calcium, calcium. But the interesting thing is that our bones, it's not that we need the calcium. We need our bones to be able to uptake the calcium.
Exactly.
They need a good base. They need a good homeostasis in our body, so that our bones then can accept the calcium that we are giving it.
I promise you, your bones will never get strong from drinking milk.
No, 100% not. That is #fake news.
But I mean, we grew up, and I know a lot of people that watch us. We all grew up hearing, drink your milk because it makes your bones strong.
Yeah. We already mentioned the heart disease. It goes into deeper specifics that it helps to prevent heart disease and stroke and reduce blood pressure.
Okay.
Which, of course, is super important for just overall health. Cancer, we've talked about, helps to protect against certain types of cancer. And last but not least, prostate health. There's been proof that it also helps to protect the prostate, not only from cancer, but just in general, a lot of the prostate diseases that affect men later in life.
So we got to get our men on green tea too.
Yes.
Okay.
It is naturally low in calories, contains less caffeine than black tea and coffee, but drinking large amounts of green tea could cause sleep disturbances late in the day. So like I said, you really want to, if you get to 8:00 at night and you go, oh crap, I didn't drink my 2 cups of green tea, table it to tomorrow.
Well, I'll say wait till tomorrow.
Put it off till tomorrow. Go ahead and start on your ashwagandha.
Because y'all remember how important good sleep is.
Yes. So don't feel like you want to be doing that late into the day. But I stop when I stop eating. It's like once I stop my eating with supper, that's it for green tea for me. And I switch over to my ashwagandha, my chamomile, my valerian.
The calming down, getting ready to. Yeah. I was just looking up something that said green tea may offer some serious benefits to hair health too.
Interesting.
Controlling sebum production and preventing dandruff.
Wow.
I had never heard that either.
I bet that's also, again, related to the cellular function.
It's got to be,
antioxidants, because, again, when we have problems with our scalp, the best thing in the world for it is antioxidants, because it's going to regenerate it's going to get rid of the bad cells, bring in the good ones.
Okay, and it says it has high vitamin C in it, which helps increase the blood flow to the scalp.
Nice. Okay.
Nice. I did not know that. I'm learning so much today about green tea.
Ain't that something? So add it to your life.
Yeah, I'm gonna be adding that to a lot of my teas.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed exploring, much like you. Now,
Yeah.
granted, you have all these amazing blends you make yourself. That's when I
It's
grow
trial
up.
and error because
Right.
I have a couple in the cabinet that Rick and I were both like,
Well, when I grow up, I want to be you, and I don't want to buy all my teas. But depending on where you are with your tea world,
oh, don't get me wrong. Don't let me fool you. I buy tea too.
do you? Okay.
Yeah, girl, because there's some blends out there that no matter how many times I read the ingredients, I'm not making it as cheap as I can buy it.
Sure. That makes sense.
Mhm.
And I very much at night, the nice thing is there's so many blends of teas that are medicinal and taste good.
Yes.
So, like I said, throw your bag of green tea in with
Yes.
whatever you have found that you love that is
Yes.
accomplishing whatever it is that you want. Like I have some that are good for stress and focus. I have some that are good for immune system boosting. I have all different ones, but I just plop my green tea right in there with it because
That's
I'm
right.
gonna get the benefits of that too.
Right, because it'll go with anything.
Absolutely.
And there's so many choices. And I think that a lot of people do have the misconception that herbal teas have to taste earthy.
No.
And they don't. They
No.
absolutely don't. You can always, even though there's a lot of earthy tasting herbs in things, you can always add the citruses and the hibiscus and things like that to make it not earthy. Where it's like fruity, or whether it's semi-sweet or citrusy or whatever you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And tea is meant to be enjoyed,
Yes.
I do, man.
It's an experience.
It
Drinking tea
is.
to me is an experience because you get the aromatherapy of the smells while you're sipping.
Yep.
That's medicinal too.
I agree. And you find what you love in your daytime routine with your green tea, but then do the same at night. I will pair everything with ashwagandha at night.
Yes.
Even if it already has ashwagandha in it, I pair it with my ashwagandha. Sometimes I'll do tulsi instead.
Yeah.
But most nights I have my ashwagandha with chamomile and lavender, or with anything else, your butterfly pea, what do you call that thing?
Butterfly kiss.
That is wonderful because I knew it already had natural, you already have ashwagandha
in there.
I pair that with
and tulsi.
Yes, I pair that with my ashwagandha at night, and I love it. It's wonderful. So anyway, let us know. I mean, I know we're talking a lot about emailing us. Y'all email us. Use that email.
Yeah.
Let us know what your favorite teas are that you found.
Yes.
Well, you might find something that we haven't found yet, and we're going to want to try it.
Or if you make your own blends, share some blend recipes with us, because we're always open to learning something new.
Absolutely. So
I'm always creating and throwing things together, and sometimes it works good and sometimes it's yuck.
Yeah.
Rick's like, no, absolutely not. I'm not drinking anymore.
That's me. It's so funny. I want to love it, and I know it's something I'm not doing right. In the springtime, I made my own dandelion tea. Now, I have purchased dandelion tea before, and it's a lot to me, kind of like the green tea, like I want to pair it with something. But when I made my own, it tasted like I chewed on that daggone dandelion. It was bitter as it could be.
To me, dandelion tea is bitter, so I always have to pair it with something else.
Okay, so it's not just me. All right, maybe I didn't screw it up.
That's just my opinion. That's my taste buds.
All right. So one thing I did mention about the matcha tea, or the matcha green tea, which you will get all these wonderful benefits. Maybe you're not a hot drink person and you want to at least get one of your doses of green tea in your smoothie. I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago about how if you started that one of the good things for the morning, if you're going to consume food early in the day, is to start with a smoothie. And I wanted to give you a little bit more backstory on that. But since we're talking about green tea, this is a great segue
Yes,
into that.
it is.
So I always add matcha powder to my smoothies.
Now, explain to me exactly what is matcha.
Matcha is a powdered green tea, but
Okay,
it
that's
is
what I thought.
high in the EGCG, which is known for kind of amplifying all of these components of green
Of the
tea.
green tea.
So it's going to
Okay,
be a much more concentrated form of green tea than what you're going to get just in brewing tea.
nice.
So it's really basically everything we just told you about as far as benefits for the green tea times 1,000 because you're getting it super concentrated, not
Okay,
times 1,000.
gotcha.
I'm being overly dramatic, but still a higher concentration, so it's good. But one thing that I wanted to share about why I talk about having smoothies in the morning. So, for anybody that's followed me any amount of time, when I did my dissertation for my doctorate, I did it on smoothie fasting, which is something we'll talk about another day. We could do a whole day on just smoothie fasting and the benefits.
That's another book.
That's a whole nother book that is coming. Um, but the I'm laughing at all my books I have planned. I swear it's coming one day.
It is one day. She's
It is.
making a list.
Yep, it's coming. But anyway, so when you are consuming food before noon, if you're doing intermittent fasting or what I now call time restricted fasting or time restricted consumption, I wanted to get away from the fasting word. So it's more time restricted eating or time restricted consumption because there's so much confusion about fasting because there's
Yes,
so
there
many different
is.
types. There's water fasting, there's smoothie fasting, there's intermittent fasting, there's fasting for days and days at a time. There's
Right.
spiritual fasting. There's so many kinds. So I am shifting, as are a lot of alternative medical practitioners and integrative practitioners are shifting to calling it more time restricted eating.
Okay.
So everybody should be not eating over a 12-hour period overnight. That is
Minimum.
something that everybody, once you get past infancy and don't need bottles in the middle of the night, you should give your body that minimum of 12 hours to
Minimum, yeah.
allow true gut rest. And I know I've explained this so many times in so many circles, but basically we go through 4-hour digestive cycles. Can be longer, but every 4 hours, your body is going through this new cycle. So if you eat at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 10, it is working on digesting whatever you just consumed at supper. Then, if you at 10 o'clock, it's going to check again. Something's always left behind. That's normal. So it goes through a second digestive cycle for 4 hours from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. to finish off whatever it missed. So at 2 a.m., it gets to go, wow, she didn't eat. Wonderful. Now I can truly rest. During that rest period of at least 4 hours, we hope that you will give your body, your hormones all have the opportunity to reset. This is your gut's only opportunity for true rest. Just the overall health benefits are tremendous. If you are battling hormonal imbalance, how much time are you giving your body to rest and reset in the middle of the night?
Yep.
And unfortunately, as our metabolism slows ever so slightly as we get older, it's not as much as people think, but the little bit that it does slow, our digestive cycles might be a little bit longer than 4 hours. So we might want to go closer to 16. I mean, well, 16, yes. 14 is what I was going to say. But just focus on 12. If that is all you do, if you are a late night snacker and you are trying to figure out why your health is just out of whack, start there.
Yeah.
Because you need that 12-hour window. But it can be so easy. If you eat last at 8 p.m., don't eat till 8 a.m. It's not hard.
Right.
So a lot of studies have shown the relation between what we choose to eat for our first meal and our cortisol levels. So if you choose to eat before noon, if you are somebody that is not intermittent fasting long time or not doing time restricted consumption with a long window, then make your first meal a smoothie, something that is already blended. And here's what the studies are showing, that if you do this, that you are already doing a lot of the breakdown of what, the digestion process is going to do in the blender. And so then you are easing your gut into your day.
Yeah.
You're creating a less stressful environment for your gut to go into the day versus, let me throw 3 donuts, a big old pile of bacon, a big old pile of pancakes and eggs and all this. Your gut is losing its mind early in the morning. I don't care if you were good about intermittent fasting for 12 or 14 hours. If that's the first thing you give it, it is like a crazy cortisol jolt to make your body all of a sudden go from asleep to let me, have to do all
Let me
this.
process all of this stuff.
Right. So it is so much better, if you don't start eating till lunchtime, till 12, 1 o'clock, then you don't have to worry about it. You've already eased your gut into your day with your water consumption, with your green tea, with your coffee, with all those things. You've already done that. But if you're going to eat before noon, the recommendation is to start with something you've already done most of the digestion in the blender. I will usually tell people that if they're just not smoothie drinkers, and these are smoothies that are not loaded with crap, y'all. This is like
chock full of fiber and goodness.
Yeah, all of my smoothie recipes, especially the ones for my people that have done my smoothie fasting with me, are all high fiber, low to moderate net carbs, good amount of protein.
They're really good.
Yeah, good amount of protein. They're very well balanced. And certain supplements that you want to include, like maybe you want to throw in some lion's mane or throw in the matcha or different things like that. You can do it right in there and not taste a thing.
Yeah.
So definitely kind of consider that for your day. Oh, but I was starting to say, off my tangent. If you're not a smoothie drinker, consider like a blended chia pudding. Not everybody loves the texture of chia puddings. If you use ground up chia or flax first, it will come out like a pudding consistency. It won't be all the little, swollen chia seeds that might bother some people. But that is also really good. Now, my typical chia puddings, I like to add berries and nuts and, all kinds of stuff.
To me, that's a great meal.
It is. But usually I will do that around noon. And if I want a chia pudding early in the day because of whatever is happening in my life that day, I'll just do just the chia, just because that's, less for my body to have to digest. So
nice.
That is my thing on time restricted consumption. I'm sure you all will hear so much more about that with different points that need to be made, but specifically because we were talking about morning routines and I had mentioned to start your day off with a smoothie, I wanted to be more specific about that.
Well, I think that the time restricted and the fasting, intermittent fasting, is another one of those things where you start with the minimum 12, and then push yourself to go to 13, to go to 14. Oh, well, I made it to 14. Maybe I can go to 15.
Yeah.
Okay, I made it to 15. Maybe I can go to 16.
Right.
And I think you'll find that the more you do that, you'll push yourself you can go farther and farther with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Dr. Mark Hyman recommends that everybody, for best health, eat in an 8-hour window and fast 16.
Yeah, I keep hearing that from multiple sources.
Yeah. And I don't disagree with that. The only thing I will caution people on is to listen to your body.
Yes.
Everybody, you will always hear me say, everybody needs to go 12 hours. That is hard stop.
That's minimum.
Hard stop, because you are not allowing your gut the rest it needs and your hormones the opportunity to balance. if you don't give yourself the 12 hours. But listen to your body. If you are starving out of your ever loving mind, when you get to 14 hours, you may be causing yourself more stress, therefore a higher cortisol level.
Cortisol. Yep.
Because you're stressing yourself out. Don't do it then. Back off to the 12 or the 13. So listen to your body. And the more you do it, and the less of the unnecessary carbs that you are consuming, the less of the carbs that are not well balanced that you're consuming, the easier this becomes.
Yes.
Your cravings go away. I can't tell you how many times when I went down that path first early on, all of a sudden I'd realize I'd been 30 hours and hadn't eaten. And I'm like, oh crap, Bill's coming home for supper. I guess I better cook something. And
right.
I hadn't even eaten all day.
Isn't that amazing? Because I know there were several times I'd be out in the garden working and I'm like, holy cow, it's 3:00. Why am I not starving?
Right. And it's amazing. Now I don't do the 30 hours and stuff like that. That was a lot easier for me to do when I was working at the hospital and was lucky if I had time to inhale, one meal. But it's wild how your brain stops telling you you're hungry all the time when you're giving it the right amount of carbs.
Yes.
Or your gut stops freaking out because it's used to the intermittent fasting. I mean, or the time restricted consumption. I'm gonna get myself used to saying this. But it's fascinating. It's just such a great practice to add. And again, start with 12. Yes. And don't feel bad if you can't go beyond 12. I work with people that I've worked with for years that 12 is their cutoff. They are watching the clock. They're like, hallelujah, I made it 12 hours. I'm eating. Fine. That's great.
That's fine. Yeah, absolutely. That's fine.
That at least has given your gut what it needs in the middle of the night.
Nice.
And keep in mind, I just want to say real quick that I always go back to what our bodies were created for. We do not eat like we were created. Our bodies were created at a time of, expecting scarcity at times, expecting to not have a cupboard full of food that you could just have any old time you felt like shoving something in
grocery stores to go to get it.
Right. Yeah. So, our bodies are used to to fasting in multiple levels and much more than what we can imagine, in our world today.
Yeah. So, and when it's fed with real and the way it was intended, our bodies work perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how much better we work when we do offer our guts the opportunity to rest the way it's how we were designed. And I will say, a lot of people worry if they are somebody that is hypoglycemic or has any kind of problems with their blood sugar bottoming out. They think that they can't do intermittent fasting. False. Yeah. I've worked with so many people. This helps regulate your blood sugar. Yes. It will actually benefit you. And if you are eating clean, which is what my hope is that you all are eating clean and intermittent fasting, you are going to be eating the foods that are going to promote the better blood sugar management, and you're not going to have those problems. I've worked with people that have had massive dips in their blood sugar to the point where they had to worry about passing out. Wow. And that this completely changed their life. Yeah. Eating clean and doing
because then everything was steady.
Yeah.
Instead of
crazy dips and up. Yep, exactly. Mm-hmm. So girl, it's the first week in December when people are watching this. What are you up to right now?
Oh, getting ready for the holidays, of course.
There is nothing like it.
That's right. Like I'm excited this year for the grandbabies, and so I'm just trying to get all the things ready and done.
Yep. Yeah.
How about you? What are you up? I know you're with your family.
Absolutely. Though I am not there at the moment at the time of this recording, I am when you all are watching
it. That's right.
I have got a smile bigger than you ever seen. This is something that we started doing, and I'm so glad we do this. I did not ever want my kids, because my kids were teenagers when their dad and I divorced, and I never wanted to put them in that world that I see so many kids go
Where
through.
they have to choose.
Or they have to choose, or they have to split up Christmas Day with one
Mhm.
parent and then go to the other parent and all that. I always thought that was horrible. So I made my commitment when our divorce happened that, you know what, you keep all the holidays. I'm a nurse. I'm always needed at the holidays. So I would work the holidays, and then we would have, hey guys, guess what? Christmas is December 19th this year. I mean,
Right.
we just had random days.
Right.
So that's something they've been used to now for about 15 years with me, and 16 years with me. And
Time flies.
I know. So anyway, so every year it looks different. So this year, super excited about this. We're doing Thanksgiving, and then we're going to the Franklin, Tennessee Dickens Christmas lighting.
Oh, cool.
Matthew's girlfriend is flying out from Colorado so that she can be with us through all of this, all of our family stuff.
Nice.
And then we're going to do our morning big Christmas brunch in the morning on the weekend. And so it's just going to be we're going to get to experience all of our favorite traditions between Thanksgiving and Christmas all together, and just
Nice.
so
Wonderful. I know you'll be having a great time and getting all the GG hugs and love.
yes. And I'm hanging out long enough where will actually be recorded next week as well, because my beautiful 2.5-year-old granddaughter is in her first Christmas performance.
Oh,
So I'm staying through that time so that I can see her first Christmas performance, and then coming home after that. But oh my word, I'm going to be a big old blubbering mess.
I bet you are. I can't wait to see some cute videos.
Oh, they will. I'll have them. And Bill told me I'm not allowed to embarrass her with my sniveling, because I'll start ugly crying. I can hear me now, like I did at my poor daughter's wedding. My poor daughter's wedding, and I literally, I don't know. I've never heard a video of it, but that was all I could think of was, oh my gosh, I was like loud, ugly crying when she walked down that aisle.
Sometimes it's hard not to.
It is.
Really.
It is. So anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed this and is gearing up for the Christmas season. Enjoyed your Thanksgiving. We've got so much more to come next week.
Yes.
And as always, we want you to age well. We want you to live well. We want you to feel well.
That's
and
right.
we just love you guys so much. Thanks for sharing this and sharing in the love of what we're doing.
Amen.
All right. Love y'all.
Love you.